College of Creative Arts on the campus of West Virginia University, under the direction of Jay Drury, assisted by Christopher Nichter, we are proud to present the award-winning Pride of West Virginia, the Mountaineer Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to yet another episode of Rogan Radio, live from the friendly confines of Studio A here at the luxurious campus of Casa La Rogan Lumberport. Good evening to ya.
Good evening. Good evening to you. And good
Misophonia.
evening to all of our Rogan Radio listeners in the Rogan Radio land. I'd just like to send out a special. Hey, you got cheese over there?
I got cheese over here, and I've got a
so
piece for
cheesy.
every single person in here.
Is it like a good yummy cheese?
It
looks
is
like it's
three
hot.
different flavors of very good cheddar
It looks
cheese.
like it's hot to me.
It
Yeah,
does
it's one of
look
the good,
It's-
better, best kind of things.
Yeah.
Really?
Look,
Good.
it's even steaming the bag up. It's hot.
Damn.
No, that's where it just came out of the fridge and made sure it stayed cold and everything. No big
Okay.
deal.
All right.
As you can tell, we're going to have a very interesting show. D-Mac is not here because he is fighting what I like to refer to as death in your lungs. And now listen, we've been fighting this thing, Michelle and I, for damn well a month now.
I thought it was in his head.
Well, that's what I mean, that's what I mean. You have all this drainage.
I've been having a lot of that.
I've been getting sinus headaches like crazy. I've been having drainage. I've been coughing it all up because it goes, obviously it goes down through your throat into your stuff, and it just gags you. And I'm tired of it. I'm over it.
It's literally been, this will be our
Have you been
4th
gagging
week.
a lot too, Michelle?
You know what?
What?
I'm not paid to
She
do
is
this.
not paid to be here.
Yes.
You can leave whenever you want, Michelle, and we will not
Thank
blame you
Todd
for
Beck.
doing that.
Thank
We will not
you.
blame you.
Thank you.
Chuck, you can leave too if you want. No, don't do that.
Well, listen,
That would turn
the
this
last
into
time you
Beck
did
Radio.
that, he walked out.
Because he's done that before. I was just joking.
Well,
around, Chuck.
the funny part was I come out, I'm getting ready for this thing, and I hear all anything was Michelle said, "Don't rush. Todd and I just had a moment." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You just had a moment. I mean, you haven't seen each other for a couple weeks now, I guess. Sure." And then Todd said, "Nah, it was in your garage." At this point, I'm kind of inquisitive.
Yeah, well.
I'm thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on?
And then
You're the
Michelle
one who
said,
leaves the couch
"Yeah,
in there."
I was with Todd in the garage." Todd said, "I've been here since 10 after 6.
That's right.
He was.
And I was like, that's kind of funny because Michelle did say that she had to go out to the garage to get something, and she came back about 45 minutes later.
I just looked out.
So at that point, I knew you were lying because I knew it wouldn't be any more than 5 minutes. So I said,
I'm here to verify that he was here at that time.
Jimmy moved
That's
the truck.
because Jimmy kept
I
going
pulled
by
the
the garage.
truck in.
Yeah,
I did.
We're like, get the hell out of here, Jimmy!
so I don't know what's going on.
Close the garage doors.
But D-Mac isn't here, so we're going to have to, we're going to have to somehow...
That's how I always get brought in. Like when somebody's not here, so we have to bring in Michelle.
Most people are probably
Here
like,
she is.
"Who's D-Mac now?"
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, Derek McIntyre, House Delegates.
House delegates.
Here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to have the because it is officially fall now. That happened yesterday.
Isn't it glorious?
The equinox, the autumn equinox, the fall equinox.
love
Yesterday,
fall.
12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness. Today, there's going to be
11 hours and 59 minutes,
And 12 hours of work, Todd?
probably. I'm working my day off.
So we're going to talk a little bit about fall and autumn. My most favorite time of the year. It's time for the Headless Horseman. It's time for Ghost Halloween. We're going to talk about ghost
Time
hunts
for,
tonight.
corn stalks and hay bales and jack-o'-lanterns.
Listen, there's a
Turkey trots and
Turkey
Thanksgiving.
trots.
Oh yeah,
Turkey dinner.
absolutely turkey
You
trot.
know what?
Church
I want everybody on here to go ahead and say, let us know, what is it you call this time of year? Fall or autumn?
Fall or autumn? What do you call it? Now there's a no.
I was taught autumn.
Autumn. When I tell you what's hilarious about this entire thing is that in the United States, this time of year is called fall. In England, it's considered autumn.
That's how I learned.
Right. And before that, it was called harvest. That's why you get your harvest moon, because they knew about this time, you better start getting your crops in, or if not, you're going to not eat for, 6 months. But anyway, in the United States, it's called fall. Now, see, I call it fall. It's
I've
fall.
always called it fall.
Yeah.
I call it fall.
Yeah, fall,
Yep.
spring, and fall.
Like last night, I called it fall, but that was only because I was tripping over stuff in the yard I couldn't see.
Why was
Well,
that?
that's your normal.
Was it dark outside?
It was very dark outside. It was very dark outside. So we're going to talk about any of that. If you like fall, if you like Halloween-y kind of stuff, you know what? You're going to definitely want to join us for that. Hey, are you?
Yeah. Speaking of your yard, I could definitely tell that you live with women now because your yard's actually looks kind of clean.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
the first
It's good.
thing
It's
Jimmy said
weird.
when he came in here.
I was like,
tell
hey.
a woman lives here.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean? Now there are yard
Did you see the
decorations.
grass growing?
That's,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
There's
talking about.
grass
Yeah.
growing.
That's what I'm talking about.
In
Like
places
before, it was
grass
just
shouldn't be growing.
yeah.
I actually have to
Son.
admit, I do like it.
Out front?
Cleaned up right there by the porch.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot nicer.
Oh, wait
it-
till the mums bloom.
I know. My wife just got some
I'm
mums.
waiting.
Love mums.
Yeah, you know what?
Can't wait.
Good job, Michelle.
Yeah, good job. Michelle.
Thank you, guys.
You know what? So we're decorating for that. Are you in for decorating for fall? What's your favorite time of year, or what's your favorite time of year, maybe holiday, to actually decorate? See, mine would be Halloween-y. Mine's Halloween this time of year. I love this stuff. Christmas, Jimmy, Chad, you have a favorite time to decorate?
Do you
I don't
you don't
decorate.
decorate?
Chad doesn't
Yeah,
decorate.
I don't decorate either.
I decorate.
doesn't?
I decorate what I'm told to decorate. That's the easiest way to explain that.
Well,
I decorate myself for work enough every day.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm like Elf when it comes to Christmas, dude. You can walk in and it's like,
it's like
I would make it snow from the ceiling if I could.
My
Cindy?
wife decorates fall. It's all fall.
fall, Christmas. She's a big Christmas. Does Mariah have her Christmas
Mariah
tree up
had-
yet?
I'm surprised she doesn't have her Christmas tree up yet. My daughter, she's playing Christmas.
She loves
movies
Christmas.
right now.
There's actually going to come out a cable channel. Did you see that, where they play Christmas music? Dave Stengo put that up there. They're going to play Christmas movies all day long, every day, all year round.
Good.
Are there that many Christmas movies? I mean, I'm thinking Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3. After that, who cares?
What was that, Chad?
What was what?
It's funny because when you're in a room full of people, you know what I mean, and you're trying to be polite, And it's not because you're bored, because we're not bored. But Chad's over there yawning, but he's trying to keep his mouth closed. When he yawns, and his whole face
Trying to
is
swallow
kind
it. Trying to swallow a yawn.
because he doesn't want to go.
Just do it.
You know, this is
I
getting to
do
be
the same
about
thing.
this is getting to be about the time where those of us that work at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be going to sleep.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. How's that work out for you, Chuck?
It's awful.
Now that we don't have to go in at 1 o'clock or wake up at 1 o'clock, it's fantastic.
What time do you usually go to bed?
About 11:30.
That's what.
I go to bed at 11:30, wake up at 1, then I go to work, come
But
home.
listen, I'm in bed before him, and I get up after him,
Chuck just.
and he stays up.
I don't know how he does
It's
it.
not my fault.
At his age, especially, I don't know how
I
he
don't
does
either.
it.
He needs
I told
to sleep.
him that too.
Old people need sleep.
They
I
do.
told him that, honey. You're old.
What?
Dude, you'll be
You
48
really-
in
You know
December,
what? You know
buddy.
what? That,
Rest.
that could be causing you a sinus trouble
Exactly,
too,
it
because
causes
your immune
everything.
system to be kind of a little
Yeah.
weak.
I'll tell you what really causes my immune system to go down. It's about a 12-pack of beer a day and campfires laced with kerosene and motor oil. But because the daggone neighbors. It's not because I'm doing that. I would never do it.
They come to your house and do it, right?
I'm like, I walk out, I was like, I blame
Why
it.
do they
you
keep
know-
It's the
doing
girls.
that?
I'm like the girl. I said,
Oh, yeah.
Michelle, the girls once again started a bonfire. It smells like there might be kerosene on it again.
Well, you know what's funny is we are definitely getting into a real bonfire time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to watch the fire though, isn't it?
Because
Oh,
we're
we
getting
watch
to the
it.
we're getting to the more damp time of the year before it gets cold.
Yeah.
Even though later on into the night it does get pretty daggone chilly, but a lot of people
Not
really
in this
like
house, buddy.
a lot of people really like the fall
You just tell
or
our
autumn
secrets.
Right.
for having their campfires and stuff like that. Some people don't want to do it during the summertime because it's already hot.
Yeah, it's
Right,
Summertime
it's already
and
humid,
heat
yeah.
and stuff. So when you start coming into this fall season, a lot of people that's when they enjoy doing their bonfire.
But just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
come over here for. You don't want to put it. You don't want to put marshmallows on a stick. You don't want to put hot dogs on a stick. You don't want to put s'mores on a stick.
Listen, we had this great idea, Darren and I.
Not at this house.
And Michelle, when the tree fell, and we got infested with poison oak. I mean, poison oak from head to toe. We had
You
poison oak
two
all over us.
did.
Yeah,
I
you didn't.
didn't.
They said redheads don't. Jen
How
just
did
don't.
you do
Cindy,
it?
did you ever get poison ivy or anything?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay,
Horrible.
well that's
How
not
did
true
you
then.
get the poison? Because I mean, I know Darren was out there cutting.
Yeah, we
it up
saw
and doing all
pictures
the
of
work.
Darren.
But
A
how
lot of
did you
pictures
get
of
it?
Darren.
Well, I was out there helping. I was behind the scenes because I didn't want to take the glory. That's why, Jimmy, asshole. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
I
Jim.
always liked your brother better anyway. I can't wait to see. So anyhow, so what happened? We came up with this great idea. It's like, look, we need to get everybody together because we don't really. It's summertime. We're on our summertime hours. Which, by the way, we're thinking about going back to every month or every weekend, starting maybe in October, which might be next week. I don't know. It just depends. Maybe in October we'll do that. Anyhow,
we need to skip one more week.
okay, we'll start in October then. So anyhow, we had this great thing. We have this bonfire brush. You know, everybody when they cut something down, they have this big pile of stuff that they just can't wait to burn, and so you have to do your thing.
Oh.
Except this stuff is the poison batch, and we were going to have everybody come over and roast marshmallows and things, and not tell you that it was laced with poison oak. I mean, just poison oak through the entire thing, and
Is
just
that
see
a
what would
criminal
happen.
offense? Could that be? That's not very nice.
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's not very
We
nice.
didn't do it though. We already burned it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Thank
We
you.
gave it away. We sold a
Actually,
truckload
I
of it
burned
for
it. He
like.
couldn't get near it, so I burn it.
Anyway, tell me who's on here with us tonight. Once
We
again,
got Peggy Renee Hensley.
hello, Peggy.
Christine Musta,
Hello, Christy.
Mike Madovich,
Mad Dog.
Chuck Nicholson,
What's up, Grump?
Pamela Michael.
Pamela Michael. I was going to say that. Chuck's on here. Oh, what do we call him? Grumps?
Yes.
Grumpy?
Susie
Grammy?
Watkins.
Is Vicky back?
See.
And she's got the baby is watching too. The baby.
Judy Hall.
Dude, Brandon Musgrove, and I don't know if he's still on here or not, but he said that he
I
said
saw
that
his
he's
name.
joined. Yeah. Steve Merritt.
Hello, Steve.
He says, hey, Chuck.
What's
I
up?
guess you're in this room all by yourself.
G Money's on here.
What's up, G Money?
Sandy Dutcher from Black Lick, Ohio.
Whoa, what?
Corey Hagan.
Black Lick, Ohio.
Hello,
That's what it's
Sandy.
called. Black Lick, Ohio.
Are you busy tomorrow night?
Hey.
Joyce, I'll be
Maxwell.
free.
Hey, Dad.
Joyce Maxwell.
Zachary.
That
Pookie Nay. We know Pookie. I like Pookie. Terry Hinkle joined on here.
Hello, Terry.
Corey Hagan as well.
What's up, Corey?
Brad
What's
Vincent's
up,
on here.
Cable?
Brad Vincent.
Julie Chips Ramsey. Hey, Cuddles is on here too. That's what it
Cuddle.
says.
Where is Cuddles?
I haven't seen Cuddles in.
He doesn't like us.
He doesn't.
Oh,
Swear to God,
he's
he
busy
doesn't.
working. Yeah, he's busy working.
Yeah, he doesn't like us
I,
anymore.
I occasionally see him at the Wendy's, but
He just
Really?
doesn't
Rare.
like us.
he's got a
Ball
boyfriend.
back
I had the
Yeah,
rare
it is.
opportunity to see him down here in Lumberport about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, then you were. Brad Vincent jumped on. He said, "Sup,
What's up?
sup."
like SUP,
that
and then
how
you
he
don't know
said
if
it?
they're
we have
talking
a
about
first-time
dinner.
listener.
So up.
Who's first-time
Gretchen.
listener, Michelle?
Pamela Michael.
Hello, Pamela.
First-time listener.
First time, long
Pam.
time.
Gretchen jumped on here. What's up, Gretchen?
Listen, Chad brought something in before we get talking about this whole autumn deal.
All right.
Chad brought in what seems to be we're going to have a cheese eating contest. We don't have the wine.
Sorry,
we don't
Gretchen.
have the wine, but Chad brought in a variety pack of cheese. Now, Chad, can you demonstrate, or do you want us to taste test
I
first?
want everybody to
you know-
get a piece of each.
We're going to do it. It's
Each
just
color.
cheese. It's
Yeah.
just cheese.
So
Right to get a
don't
piece
be-
of each
Listen,
color
I
right
don't
now.
see too many
Yeah,
cheeses
just get
that
a
look
piece
like
of
that.
each color.
Each color. Now just make sure
Okay.
your dick beaters don't get on everybody
Whoa,
else.
buddy, your
Okay.
mom's listening.
Keep
What?
Your mom's listening. Your mom is sorry, Sandy.
I won't have a problem
Yeah.
with that.
I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Not everybody has a son named
I
Dick,
want-
Todd.
I'm kind of paying attention here because I want everybody to get them in the same order.
I don't know what I got.
What,
So
this
go-
one?
Just
white.
This
All
one.
right.
go.
Go white or
Yeah,
don't go
I'm-
nothing.
Okay,
I'm backwards.
stack them back up. Stack them back up the way that you had them.
What?
Oh, my.
Cheese, bro. I'm talking about the cheese, you
Are you
racist.
talking about? Did you say something about Michelle's cheese?
No.
Todd's so racist.
I'm not racist.
What you-
I hate everybody, Jimmy.
Yeah, you're not a big.
So anyway, we're going to do this little cheese. So there's going to be
This is
something
so
to this.
cheesy.
There's going to be something
so
to this.
cheesy.
There's obviously going to be some kind of a kick in the pants.
You want to, you don't have to.
She's going
Is
to.
it bad?
She's going to. Chad's not
Of
going to
course
tell
it's
us.
bad.
Hey,
We
Carol,
don't
get
do-
down here. Get
No.
down here, Carol. Get some
No,
cheese.
That one,
Now I'm kind of wondering. I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be
Okay.
some sort of
Yeah.
terrible tasting cheese
Exactly.
or what.
When have we ever did anything just normal in the air?
And let me ask you a
It's
question.
going to be bad.
Now here's a question. I have for you too. For all you dope heads out there, out in the audience, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this question. Now stop it, Jimmy. So listen, what are you doing?
No way.
Did
You're
you
going to
taste
eat
it
it.
already?
No, you're going to eat
I
it.
just smelled it.
Oh, give me a break. You're not a
I
dog.
just
You're not
put
a
a
dog.
piece
But
in
here's
my
the question I have. Why is it that Chad can bring something in a Glad bag? And normally, if you have somebody that give you something, if I'm walking down the street and somebody gives you a bag of Oreos, you know what you're going to do? You're going to take that and throw it right in the trash can.
Is that where
Yeah.
that where you used to do that with all your
When
customers on your route?
on the
what?
mail
That's
route,
what I'm gonna
somebody,
do.
no, you're not. You're gonna eat those. But then somehow people go and buy these drugs like a bag of weed. They meet somebody in a dark alley behind Gomar or something, and it's in a bag. But yeah, there are more of them willing to take that stuff and blow it down their lungs. I'm like, now, how do you even know what's in that? There could be Roundup on that, and you could really get sick because of that.
Absolutely, we're gonna really
don't
cool high,
know.
man. Like,
You don't know.
this
All right,
Look,
Chad,
that
tell us
one's
about
melting
the cheese.
the plate.
All right. First things first. Everybody grab the white cheddar.
This,
got the white.
This is the white. Jimmy, quit smelling it. You're not a dog.
It smells like old socks, dude.
That's cheese.
Listen, I don't know what.
Oh, that
listen,
smells bad.
Listen, Jimmy, I don't know what old cocks
Hey, a
smell
good-
like, but I'm going to take your word
That's
for it.
Okay,
socks.
Socks? Oh, socks.
A good shot of penicillin does everybody good.
All
Eat
right.
up.
All right, seriously, everybody just go ahead.
And then you'll tell us what it is. Everybody's
Put the whole thing in there.
just do it,
the whole
Jimmy.
thing
It's
in
just
your
Jimmy,
cheese.
What?
wuss.
Just cheese.
You a cheating bastard. One of you two just dropped it.
I mean, no.
I could have swore one of you just dropped it.
God, that
That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's got a little bit of spice to it, right?
Yeah,
Got
but
a little,
certainly-
little kick to it,
It's
but,
got a
I don't
little.
like that.
but it doesn't taste very good though.
Okay,
No,
that's
I
in,
think it's good. I think it's good. Now it's spicy though. It's got a nice little burn to it. on
Look
the
at
tongue.
Jimmy.
That's terrible.
now.
That's
You
not
guys,
very good.
you know
No, I
what?
gotta wash this down.
All
Hold
your
on.
damn taste buds are burning
Okay.
off.
Yeah, go ahead, get a little drink. You're gonna have to get a little drink in between
Okay,
so
we're
you
gonna
can
drink.
get the different flavors.
Yeah.
And now what
Chad's
was that
gross,
actually called
dude.
right there?
I
What was
love
that
you.
actually called?
It's a cheddar cheese. I'll let you know when we're done trying
Cheddar?
each one.
Where do
all
you
of
taste
them.
the cheddar?
Hey, Chuck Nicholson said that was Fremunda cheese.
Oh man.
You know what? It kind of tastes like
wonk.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I never had that.
The next
before.
one that you're going to get is
now.
it's a
Jimmy, grab it.
the more yellowish than orange.
Dude, they look the same.
It's not. No, one's a
It's
little
the same.
bit.
One has-
One's a
one
little bit.
has
Let me see your
little red-
texture. Let me see the texture
one
on
has
it.
little red spicy things in it.
Is it
Okay.
the-
Not
It's
the one-
It's a little harder of a
look like a
texture.
chunk.
Yeah.
You'll see the little harder texture.
Yeah.
Okay,
That one.
Come
Yeah.
on, whiz kid.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Kind of one.
That one, that
Yeah.
first white one's kind of catching up a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
it
got a
is.
little heat in there.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Cheese number. Go ahead and try this. Go ahead and try it. Number
This
2.
smells like old underwear.
Jimmy, I don't know what this tastes like.
How
Just
do
eat
you
it.
know?
Why are you
How do
Jimmy,
you
it's
know all
just
that stuff?
cheese. Jimmy,
Why do you
Huh?
go around sniffing this?
it's just cheese.
You
And
know what?
literally, I just cut all this in your kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what? That's pretty good.
That's actually it's really good. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Jimmy's sick and tired of because he's
That was
more,
actually
you
really
know,
good right
Yeah,
there.
well, that's like a
Okay.
nice
That was
cheddar.
a good one.
The first one's
Okay.
now the first one had a lot of spice to it. There was a
way.
lot of kick in that first one. This one right here was after eating that first one. That was
Yeah.
a nice cheese.
Okay, everybody get yourself a little drink. Wash
Okay, a
it
little
down.
bit of drinking.
Wash it down.
Little bit
there,
drink.
Chuck. No, I like that one actually. I really did.
Where'd you
You
get
know,
these?
Chuck? You would, or Jimmy, you would like that one.
No,
Jimmy,
we're-
you
we're
would
di-
have
no,
liked
I
it.
didn't.
actually, Jimmy rather put the sauce
tasted
in
it.
a, I mean,
No, I
Ziploc
didn't.
bag and sniff it.
Ooh, now that's catching up too.
Okay, where'd you
Yeah.
Okay,
get?
I actually got all this cheese over at Candyland over in Oakland, Maryland.
Oh, okay, fantastic. They're
Okay.
off 68.
I went to a strip bar one
candy
time
tastes
called
like
Candyland.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
And that's probably what that smells like.
everybody get your last
Okay,
piece
get
of
last
cheese
piece
there.
of
It should
cheese.
be a darker.
gross.
It's a
Come
more
on, Jimmy, quit
sharp
being a
cheddar.
wuss.
Oh,
Just cheese.
should be a dragon.
Quit sniffing it. Why do people sniff their food? It's not like you're. It's like okay, I can tell.
sniff
What,
my
All
come
three
on.
of these smell the same.
If, I can guarantee you have had worse things in your mouth that if you would have smelled first, you would have never done that. And Todd would be one of them.
Chuck, what
All
you
right.
said? All three of these smell like your old underwear, dude. No
I don't
way.
know. I don't know how you know what that smells like,
Me
but you know
either.
what? Okay. Anyway,
Where's
right.
you been, Jimmy?
let's get back on topic.
Everybody's ready, right?
Yes. Go ahead.
Go
Nick.
ahead,
Oh, Jimmy.
Such a
Jimmy. You need to
cheater.
try that cheese, man.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
I need to be quiet and think.
What's to
No.
think about?
My mouth's on fire.
Terrible.
There's a little spiciness. There's like an oily, very like a
Yeah, it's a lot softer, sort of. Like a
Okay, I'm going to
softer-
suggest everybody goes ahead and gets a drink right now.
Oh, shit.
because we just had cyanide.
You said
But listen, what I can
Reapers
taste.
or something.
No, listen. No, and that is what I taste in that. It's almost like when I eat blazing wings up at BW3. It's almost like it almost coats like the oil.
Now, see,
in it.
I knew Chuck was going to like this. I like it.
Yeah, that's very
Okay.
good.
I like.
You know what?
the first-
Shortly here, I'll be the only ones able to talk because all your mouths will be like all foaming and stuff.
So what kind of cheese were we
The
eating?
first cheese that you had was infused with ghost peppers.
Oh, and you could tell that ghost pepper cheese. That was the very first one.
Yeah, that was the very first one.
Because listen, there's a lot of bite in that one.
Yeah, the
There was
first one was
There was
good.
a lot. There's
The second one,
Yeah.
it was Michelle had it best because that one started to creep up on you
Michelle's crying.
because
Crying.
that had
You guys
scorpion
so
peppers in
much.
it.
The second one
second
has
one.
scorpion peppers.
I
But
don't
I
even
like that
like
one.
scorpion.
Yeah, that was the scorpion pepper. Now the last one that y'all had,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I made sure to give y'all like with the least amount of peppers in it. I had the end piece, which had the most.
Yeah.
That was Carolina Reaper.
Ooh, Carolina Reaper
Why
cheese.
did we do this?
Don't worry.
Because
Don't worry, you'll have
y'all are,
lava coming out here shortly.
y'all
You'll
are
know.
dumb enough to follow what the hell I tell you. So,
Listen, but it was very good. It's very good cheese.
Oh,
and you got up at
That's good.
Candyland?
yeah, at Candyland they have.
Listeners, don't let them lie. It was terrible.
Jimmy, you didn't even eat it.
I did too.
Jimmy
I took
says-
little
Oh,
bites.
you took a little. Jimmy took a little nibble.
No, Jimmy
nibble.
rather you smell the
Jimmy eats
socks and the underwear.
Listen, Jimmy eats barbecue potato chips and he thinks they're hot. Oh, I got a little. I got.
Well, he eats crab.
Yeah, I'll eat Cajun
eats
stuff or
crab.
something. I just don't like.
Oh, that
crab
was
dip.
good. But Candyland, we need to go. We need to get some more. Or well, how
That
was
is
Carol and I went with her brother and his fiance. We went out on a bike ride and everything. We was up in Farmington, PA. Went and got something to eat and ended up over in Oakland, Maryland, over at Candyland. I spot this cheese.
Like, hey,
I love this kind of cheese. So
That's,
I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna buy a block of this, a block of that, a block of this.
Yeah, it's not bad stuff with a beer.
Oh hell yeah.
you want a beer?
No.
So I'm like, hell with this. I bought all these 3 cheeses, and I said, I'm going to bring them on the show. I want these guys to try them out. I want them to know what it is first. I want honest to God opinions and shit like that. Now, I have to admit, for some reason, the ghost pepper seems to be the most spicy, even over the Carolina Reaper. I don't know why.
I don't know. They were good.
I don't know. That last one was.
that? Good. I mean,
What's supposed to be hot? It wasn't so hot in the
second,
cheese.
The second. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm still getting
I
the
feel like I'm
first.
breathing fire.
The first pepper.
I got more kick from the second one.
see now, it was all different for me. The first one gave me a lot of good taste. The last one was more like it melted on my tongue. It was, and it had it where it was like I could almost feel the oil. It wasn't like a pepper.
No, that was the last one,
It was
right?
It was like there was an oil that was coating the inside of my stuff, and it's currently burning out all the infection in my
Can you feel?
tonsils.
Can you feel it in here?
And what's funny is I associate the hotter sauces and cheeses and stuff like that with fall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I start. I
Spicy
want
food.
my chili. I want cornbread. All that kind of stuff.
Spicy
This is
stuff.
the kind of stuff I eat
You
with.
see, that's why, in the summertime, I don't eat a lot of soup. And now, at this time of year, man, I'll make chili and all kinds of stuff. It's just that time of year
Well,
for
it's
me.
not any different. For us Asian people, we eat the kind of hot, spicy stuff in the summertime just
Yeah.
to guard ourselves from humidities.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's
Well,
the summertime.
plus it cleans you out.
Chuck Nicholson said we have a new segment.
What's it called?
It's called Cheese with Chad.
Cheese with Chad.
Listen, if you see anybody from the studio get up
Cheese
and
or
run out, it's
Chad?
because they're heading to the bathroom for some lava release.
Hey, do you remember when Chad would bring in like lasagna and
Yeah, remember
No, I
when,
never brought in lasagna. I brought pizza bread and
pizza bread?
that was when he was trying to get on the show.
He was buying his way in.
I was
too.
actually, you know what?
You remember the
I
first
just about
bust 'em.
dropped the bomb.
You
Screw you,
Bust them. Bust them up.
because the next time I was hoping
Bust 'em.
I was hoping that the next in October, the first week in October, I was actually going to bring a spread, but because of you, everybody else is going to go home.
Way to go,
Everybody gets
Jimmy.
to spread
Way
now,
to go.
Jimmy.
Actually,
it wouldn't be the
I will
first
admit,
spread.
we all
Thanks,
did that. 'Cause
Jimmy.
remember, I used to bring the salsa and stuff to that.
Well, that's true too. You brought those little.
Now nobody gets
that
to
was all right.
spread.
You brought those little dachshund weenies we used to put on dachshund weenies that we used to put on toothpicks. Remember that?
Yeah.
From down in Mobile, the dachshund weenies.
No, you had
Oh,
some
the
kind of
Kaneka sausage.
sausage.
Yeah.
I love that connected sausage, man.
Get that
It was
mixed up.
good. Michelle likes sausage just when it's not connected to me. Anybody get that? See, I'm throwing jokes
Yeah,
out.
we
Way
don't.
over
That
going everybody
wasn't very
said.
nice.
No, it was on. Nobody's ever getting that. Nobody's
Chad.
But that was really good, Chad. Thanks for bringing that in. Anyway, yesterday was the first day of fall, or if you're one of our European friends, or basically the rest of the world, it's autumn. So when we came up with a couple little things here, talking about that you might not have known or do know about our favorite holiday. By the way, you can go down to the. I got it right in my throat right there.
Yeah, you do.
Big at music.
Yeah. The Designers Garden Center there on Meadowbrook Road for all your fall decorations. Talk to Robert Bell. Yeah, it went right down there because I had a little bit of spit in there, and then it went down the wrong
I'm
hole.
gonna put a link on there for that for a designer center.
Yeah, it's
friends.
never good whenever it hits the wrong hole.
No. Anyway, what's very interesting about this, and where is it? Here, let me pull this thing up. Once again, we said this earlier. This is number one. We're just going to go through a couple little tidbit things here. Americans are the only ones, or one of the very few in the world, that actually refer to this time of year as fall. And that's where we get like fall back on the clock. It's coming up in November. I think they pushed it back. Whereas the British, or England, UK, whatever you want to say, which they owned the world at one time, they refer to it as autumn. So that's pretty interesting. That's where some people prefer autumn. You'll see it on signs. Other people prefer,
Here's a
fall.
fun little fact about autumn, Chuck. That research shows that if you have a baby that's born in autumn and this time of the year, they are more likely to live to the age of 100.
Wow.
Now I don't know how they figured that out.
I was born in Wednesday. I was born in December.
I'm
So
born
that
in
was,
November.
That's
so
not
we were.
fall.
Yes, it is.
December's
Yeah, up
not.
until
December
December
most
21st, right?
December 21st is
December
the first day of
21st is
winter.
winter.
December 6th is most definitely in
Then
fall.
I'm dying early.
So am
Keep
I.
it
I'm a
up.
June baby.
Keep it up.
That's why.
Well, now see, I got one that tops you
Okay.
because Carol was born in a week from now. It's her birthday.
Oh.
So on the 30th
Oh,
of
she's
September,
she's
so
living a long time.
she's definitely going to live a long time.
I'm a November
long
15th, baby.
November. What you said that like you want people to send you birthday cards
do.
or something. Oh, okay.
Hey, here's another one, Chuck. Researchers now the researchers are big on autumn.
Sure.
for some reason. Researchers. They've also shown that I'm sorry about this, Michelle, but research shows that women lose more hair in the autumn.
Well,
Isn't
you know
that
what?
weird?
Well, you know what else? And you know what? It's just not my time of year. Because
No.
you know what else?
What?
They gain more weight.
They do. You absolutely.
well,
They
yeah.
gain more weight
Now,
in autumn. I
in-
say fall.
Great.
No,
so
no.
by winter, we'll be bald and fat.
Bald
Bald and-
fats.
just like us. Just like us, Chuck.
Now what,
Hey.
now what they say the reason for that is because the sun's starting to go down a little bit, which is all caused from the tilt of the Earth. That's why we have autumn. It's the tilt of the Earth, not because of the distance
Yeah,
from the
no,
sun.
right, yeah.
Anyhow, when it comes to people, they'll start getting this what's it called, seasonal affect disorder. They'll start to gain a little bit of weight. They start to feel like a bear, like it's time
I'm
to
just
hibernate,
saying,
could become
yeah.
grumpy. If you want to combat that, vitamin D, because that's the reason. If, like in the summertime, you're always happy because you're out in the sun, so you're getting that vitamin D. And the
Your
only way,
metabolism probably slows down or something. I don't know.
mine's been slowing down for
I'm
about 2
just
years
saying,
now.
I'm glad I'm married. Because when I get fat and bald, you have no choice but to stick with me.
Well,
So all
Oh.
you single ladies,
Life
it's
is full of
fall.
choices.
Okay, this is for all the This is for all the basic girls out there. Pumpkin spice has nothing to do with pumpkins.
Say again?
Pumpkin spice has
That is
nothing to do with
ludicrous.
pumpkins.
You are
Does it?
fired.
Where's it come from?
Pumpkin spice, 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground nutmeg, 1.5 teaspoons of ground allspice, and 1.5 teaspoons of ground cloves. Not one thing
With a pumpkin.
with a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Well, now here's something very interesting too. This is a Celtic tradition. Like when it comes to Halloween, and you put you have your disguise, you have your mask, you have all this stuff on. The Celtics near Halloween, which is all based upon the moon and all of that kind of stuff. Anyhow, they thought that was the time that you had all these ghosts and you had these spirits. Which is, if you're Catholic, the next day after Halloween is All Saints Day. It sort of coincides like that. But anyway, they wore costumes so they could be in disguise so the ghost wouldn't get them. That's where the Halloween costumes
They would kind
come
of
about.
blend in and they wouldn't know.
You know what else people like about fall?
Tell me.
The leaves changing colors.
Football.
Leaves changing colors. And it's, the fall colors are caused by the amount of sugar in the leaves. The more the red in the leaf, the more sugar that the leaf is storing. That's why the maple leaves are.
Well, you know what? That thing out
So
there,
vibrant.
our maple out there, it'll
Actually,
be blood
that's,
red.
that's
Yeah.
half of the truth.
Uh-huh.
The other part is that the leaves quit producing chlorophyll because of the lack of
So
sun.
I've heard that also.
That's
And
why
that's why
evergreens.
they call the leaves that looks like they're bleeding out.
That's why the evergreens don't change because they have a thick wax covering that protects the chlorophyll.
Wow, we sound very smart
It
today.
does.
And
Here's
that's
what-
why they
You
call
sound
them
very
evergreens
smart.
because they're always green.
Here's one for the ladies, Chucky. You want to hear this? For the ladies.
For the ladies.
Right.
For the
Yeah,
ladies.
For the ladies way back there in
Well,
the back of the studio.
Since we're
Woo!
bald and fat, tell us something positive.
Listen, human testosterone levels, which men are just chock full of, well, unless you're almost 48. And then I think at 50, okay, never mind. Human testosterone
keep going
levels.
there, big guy.
Human testosterone levels are highest in the autumn. And they say this is possibly from ancient mating instincts.
Oh.
The rut.
So the male, like the rut. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying?
Human
It's the
rut.
reason why birds migrate south.
So what?
Okay.
You-
For
So
mating ground.
So what
There
you're
you go.
basically saying is that fall was for lovers
Falls for lovers.
because that was the one that we were going to talk about last, and I'm glad you brought it up so we could end this segment. I really appreciate
Actually, fall is for lovers.
that. So anyway,
Fall is
it
for-
is.
He don't follow. He can't follow anything.
I'm talking
That's
about
right.
testosterone here, bro.
Most people go from single to a
Testosterone, love,
relationship
it's all
or
the same.
engaged.
This is the time of year when people start hooking up.
Yeah, hooking up.
And you know what? Jimmy comes up with this. Jimmy's theory was that chicks don't like to be alone near the holidays. They like presents and gifts, and then
Yep.
it comes the first of the year, boom, you're gone.
Boom, you're gone.
Boom, you're gone.
And in the
Oh,
summer, you don't need
most
them,
most babies
so-
are conceived around this time of the year too.
Which?
I was.
Well, I guess
End of
I wasn't.
September.
you know that all ties in together. High testosterone level, falling in love,
Falling in love. I like how you
And
say
listen,
that. And
the
babies
women-
fall
Hey,
out
Todd.
head first.
falling, and
When's
then
your
babies
birthday?
fall out
June.
of the womb.
see?
Everything's falling around.
And when the man goes into his rut and the woman loses her hair, it's because he's pulling on it.
Exactly.
That sounds so daggone. Wow.
That's
Anyway.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
since it's the time for lovers and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
how do these hookups happen?
Well, listen. I'm glad you asked that because one thing everybody knows is I'm a master of picking up chicks.
Oh, that's a good segue.
I'm a master
Used
of
to
picking
be.
up chicks.
Used to
to
be.
be. That's true. But I got,
Used to be.
I caught the biggest fish in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So,
Biggest.
the best fish in the ocean.
Oh, the
Biggest.
shiniest,
The shiniest,
prettiest, most colorful,
the most colorful,
skinniest fish in the ocean.
the skinniest fish in the ocean. Ocean.
Loudest.
Motion of the ocean.
That sounds like some shit from Africa. Like some kind of
I don't know
orangutan.
what the
movie.
hell that was.
So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to try to help you out. If you're a guy out there, or
You're a
maybe
single man,
if you're a guy, because it's easy for chicks to get picked up by guys. Guys are just, this is their.
Yeah,
their-
we're stupid.
Guys, you look at deer right now. They're running right in the middle of the road. Just, the women are running in the middle of the road to try to get away from the guys, and the guys are out there licking salt off the road
All I gotta
just
say
to
is
kind of keep
I
hydrated.
got bologna in the fridge. I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, Chuck.
that almost sounded like a code word there.
Bologna
Bologna's in the
sandwiches.
cheese.
Hello,
You got
guys.
some bologna in the fridge. What?
Out of the gutter. Bologna sandwiches.
Bring that junk around me. We're gonna fight.
I still don't know.
I like bologna
I
sandwiches.
love bologna
I still think it's a
sandwiches.
code.
I like fried
I
bologna
will
sandwiches.
hurt
I do
somebody
too.
that
They're
try
my
to give me
favorite.
bologna.
You know, Michelle and I have so much in common.
It sounds like you do. I mean, honest to goodness. Honest to goodness.
Yeah,
it
they're
really
both
is.
they're both in love with you.
Well, yeah,
true.
there's definitely a three-way love triangle here.
Yeah,
Would you ever eat
You're
a
the
bologna
common connector here.
Would you eat a bologna sandwich?
No, I'm not going to eat a bologna sandwich.
What did I eat when I went back home?
A bologna sandwich.
Absolutely. And
Michelle's
what did I
dad,
say?
Jack, Dr. Jack, and Michelle. That was
Dad said,
you
"What
want
do you
this
want
or
to eat?" And I
pizza
said,
or bologna sandwich? Boom, fried bologna sandwich.
with
Yep.
lots and lots of mayo, like this.
Yeah, white, creamy,
no tomato.
delicious mayo. Hey, Michelle, do you? Okay, we won't talk about food. I'm getting.
I
Anyway.
understand.
Anyway.
Well, I've got more cheese out there if you're still hungry.
No, I'm not really that hungry.
I get
that's
so
gross.
confused sometimes.
Where were you going with all this, Rogan?
Anyway, because fall is for lovers, and we are in fall now, that we thought we would do a public service because we are the masters of picking up chicks, and well, Cindy and we have Lisa, and we also have Carol and Michelle. We're not going to. They're the masters of hearing all the bullshit that guys can give them. So we're going to try these pickup lines. We're going to tell you pickup lines that are guaranteed to work. And especially now that it is fall and chicks are looking to hook up with somebody, so that, as Jimmy says, they can get some Christmas presents and go on a nice place for New Year's.
And then they
Well,
go.
and they need somewhere warm to stay
And I can
for
see
winter.
it now. I can see it now. You know, you meet up with somebody, you know, about this time of year. You go to Rich's Fright Farm. You
I'm so scared.
And
Will you
she's
hold
doing one of
me?
these things. I'm so scared, Jimmy. Can you hold me? And then some of this junk. And then all of a sudden, Thanksgiving, hey, would you like to come back and have dinner with the family? Well, sure, really?
I'll give you some pumpkin spice
Yeah,
pie.
yeah.
No pumpkin in it.
So then next thing you know, that rolls right into, of course, Christmas. And then, you know, so you go and you buy this thing, man, I'm really scoring here. This might be a long-term thing. I'll go out and get a debit card or a credit card and put $15,000 worth of junk on this to impress this chick.
buddy.
So then she's really digging you, but there's one thing left, and it's New Year's. And then you're like, what can I do? Let's do something special. Where do you want to go for New Year's?
I'd like to watch the
Let's
ball
go on
drop.
a trip.
We should play the man and the woman when we were.
Listen,
Yes.
I wonder what the stats are
And
between
then-
Christmas and Valentine's Day of breakups.
I was gonna say, and
probably
then
pretty high.
there's
Well, that's what I was going to
Valentine's
say.
Day.
You want
That's
to
where the
reenact
guy winds up getting wise.
Hey, listen.
And by the end of January, he's like, screw this, I'm out.
No, we're going to reenact this. Todd, right now, we're going to reenact New Year's Eve. Okay? We're going to. Now, listen.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh boy, I get to be the girl.
Oh, boy.
I get to be the girl.
Have you?
Oh,
Okay.
Chuck.
Yeah, baby.
I love.
Oh no, you don't understand. I've done everything for the last 3 months just to make you happy, and you're the best thing since popcorn. Do you
Chuck, you've
understand?
been so good to me.
Do you like this big? You know? Let me see the necklace that I got you.
Look at this necklace.
Oh
you got
my
me.
goodness, that's the
Look
prettiest pearl.
how
Oh my
pretty.
goodness. Do you have? Let me smell that perfume.
Smell it. Smell
Oh
it.
man, how are the
God,
flowers doing?
smell like a rose.
Do you like the TV that I got you?
45-inch flat panel. I
Yes.
love it. I
Yes.
don't even know what it is, but it turns on, and the colors are so pretty.
And now that we're here in Vegas to watch the stuff. We're gambling. We're having a good time. We're in one of those Hummers that are 15 feet long. One of those limos. I mean,
The
are you
longer
enjoying
the
your
better.
time?
The longer the better. I really have a good time.
Okay. Now listen. By the way, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, I think my New Year's resolution will be, I don't know, go on a long trip with you. I would like to go on a long trip with you.
Okay, now look. I was hoping you were going to say
I really what I
make a
wanted
long
to say
trip
was,
without you,
I
because
would
that's the next
love
day.
to
So you
go
got all your
on a
junk.
long trip without you.
I can almost see that working out like that.
And are we done?
Yes, we're done.
Hey, I'm still stuck on the fact you got a necklace and a TV. I've got nothing. I got a necklace. I got a flat screen.
You know, I think I'd rather you just talk like that.
wait a
from now
minute,
on.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait
Mrs.
a minute,
Doubtfire.
wait a minute. Shut up, shut up, shut up. I got a baby too. Feel it right here. Feel a baby right here.
And you can tune in next Sunday and listen to Todd Beck talk like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I got a baby. I have a baby in my uterus.
He used to have an Audi, but now it's an Eddie. Todd Beck. You understand what that was? He dresses like a woman. He talks like a woman. He's even pregnant. Or he has to take a crap.
I might be constipated.
It's Todd Beck, acting like a woman, Mrs. Doubtfire. Caitlyn Jenner in the house. Todd Beck every Sunday starting at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now to watch him have sex with Darren Hardman. Get your tickets now at 681-222-7646.
My breasts are sore.
See what was nice there?
Hey, Steve Merritt wants to
You know
know.
what?
Steve Merritt wants to know if that's a pearl necklace that he got.
Yes,
for
it
Christmas.
is actually.
Yeah, that was this
Cindy
is not
said
that
you
kind of
should've
show.
Played Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Oh,
You know what? Hey, listen.
That would
and-
be great.
Now, here's the funny thing was, I saw you guys talking down there, so I knew there was something going on. That's where you're going to have to go listen to the zinger that you didn't hear that I threw in there about you. You didn't hear that, did you?
Singer.
Wasn't
Yeah.
this supposed to
That
go
was pretty
into
funny.
like pickup lines?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Listen, that's funny. It was good. We should have played. That was good thinking, Cindy.
You got some music for the pickup lines?
We need to have.
Because we're fixing to school some of our single
You know,
friends.
this list got a huge list. Which one are we going?
Whatever you want, man.
Just pick one. What's going to happen here is that because fall is for lovers, and we're going to help all of the single guys out because no one likes to be alone near the
Some
holidays.
of these people might get
So we're going to
slapped.
tell you what to say so
And
you
if-
can
and-
pick up a chick.
And by all means, if you have something, if you have one, let us know. Let us know what it is because like mine was
Yeah,
always
tell
been
us yours.
my pickup line, like the one I use on my show. And I walked up and I said, I gotta get some.
I
mood.
was with you, so I remember.
I gotta get some mood music. So mine was like this because you have to be smooth. It's like this. Hey, baby. She's like, what? I was like, credit score 661,
Not very good, Chuck.
861,
That's a lot better.
861. She's like, just talk to me. She's like, Miller Lite in my hand. She goes, I like it already. And I said, you know what? She goes, who are you anyway? I recognize you. I said, that's right. I'm the weatherman, and tonight your forecast calls for 10 to 12 inches.
Did she go get somebody else or?
No, I was like, that damn meteorologist was wrong again.
This is the only profession where they can lie all they want. They can never get their job right.
Never,
That-
ever is it ever right. Come
Listen,
on.
is she not fast or what?
She's good, man.
All right,
I don't know,
anyway.
was she?
So we're going to try pickup lines.
This been
These are
bad.
pickup lines that you can use every day. Say you go out to the bar somewhere, you want to pick up somebody, at least for the holidays. Be prepared to write them off. Let's go with this one. I'll go number first. I'll go first.
You'll go number first.
I got the second one.
Okay. Do you work at Starbucks by chance? Because I like a latte.
Ah.
Yeah, that would work. Would that work on you if I
Yeah,
said
that would work on me, actually. That would work.
Well,
Yeah.
you'd have to say it a little sexier, but
Say
Okay.
it. We'll
Say
try
it
to get
sexier.
sexier, Chuck.
Okay.
yeah.
Do it
We're
And I'll
go-
do a different one. I'll do it
Okay.
different.
All right.
Okay, a little sexier. Come on, act like, get into it.
Hey,
act
listen.
like you're picking up a chick.
Oh my God! you
Come
drunk
on,
crazy.
remember back in the old days.
Okay, you gonna
Come
let
on.
me try it?
Yeah.
I'll be like this. Hey, listen. You're cute. You must be religious because you're the answer to all my prayers.
Oh. Oh, you gonna do the next one, Chad?
Hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say, hey, Carol, are you a camera? Because every time I look at you, I smile.
Oh, say cheese.
Let me do the next one. Can I do the next one?
Do it.
Okay.
Do
This
it.
is what I tell to Vicky. It's like, hey, baby, are you a magician? Because abracadabra. Damn!
That's actually pretty funny.
I like that
Jimmy,
one,
give me
right?
one.
Even if there wasn't gravity on Earth, I'd still fall for you.
Oh, that's
Let's see,
good.
Jimmy's got the sexy voice.
Yeah, he really
There
does.
you go,
he
one.
really does.
Be like, hey, baby, let me tie your shoes because I don't want you falling for anybody else.
Oh,
I like that one.
I like this one.
Okay. Oh, this is okay.
If you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber.
Ah,
Cucumber.
That's pretty
Okay.
good. That's pretty good one there. You know
I
what?
like that one.
And you
Wait,
say,
I have one. Keep
I
it on
like-
the-
okay, go ahead,
Keep it on
Cindy.
the vegetable theme. Do you live in a cornfield? Because I'm stalking you.
Ooh, I got one. I got one.
I have a pistol.
You know what? These actually sound better coming out of the women. You know that?
Don't they?
Here's one for you.
Stalking from a
Here's
guy's
one.
little creep.
Here's one. Here's one for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, this is a creeper.
Did you have Lucky Charms for breakfast? Because you look magically delicious.
Ooh, hey, Michelle.
Hey.
You must have sat in a pile of sugar
What?
because you have a pretty sweet ass.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Are you an omelet?
Why? No.
You're making me awfully excited.
Yeah. Dang.
Not sure I'd actually use this one, but are you an orphanage? Because I want to give you kids.
Hey, baby, do you have a Band-Aid? Because I just scraped my knee falling for you.
My. Brucey, do you have one?
Well, I just saw this as well. It sounded more like a. It's common, I guess. Well,
Talking to the
Anyway.
mic.
Okay.
would you grab my arm so I can tell my friends I've been I've been touched by an angel.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, what? Huh?
You know what my shirt is made of?
What?
Boyfriend material, husband material.
Oh, husband.
Oh. Are you a florist? No?
I don't know.
Because ever since I met you, my life's been rosy.
Nice.
How about this one? How about this one? Listen, are you Mexican? Because you were my one and only. Get it? One and
One and only.
I like this one.
Or
I was feeling a little off today. Yeah. But you definitely turned me on.
Todd back.
Oh, hey.
Are you my appendix?
Yeah.
Because I have a funny feeling in my stomach and I need to take you out.
Am I blushing?
or the classic.
I've got to be
classic
blushing.
80s.
Hey, Darren.
Holy
Remember this one back in the
Go
day?
ahead.
Do you want a screw or do I owe you an apology?
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, do you have a map?
No.
Because I'm getting lost in your eyes.
Oh, put down that cupcake, Chuck. Because you're sweet enough already.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Baby, if God made anything more beautiful than you, I'm sure he kept it for himself.
Oh.
Is there an airport nearby, or is that just my heart taking off?
I don't know.
I just want to live in your socks, Chuck.
Wow.
So I can walk with you every step of the way.
Dang.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Tom.
Is your name Ariel? Because we were mermaid for each other.
Hey, babe, are you African?
What?
Wait a minute. Because you're...
Yeah.
No, hold on. I just saw it. It's freaking... What is it? I messed it up because I was looking down.
No, you got it.
Are you... Because you're a freaking babe. I said babe, and I said, are you African, babe? Well, I should have said because we call each other babe. I screwed it up because I can't say babe twice. Never mind. Scratch that. Rewind.
Okay, I got one.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Is your daddy a baker? Because you got some nice buns.
Ooh, Chuck, this one's for you. Can I give one to you?
Uh-huh.
You like Star Wars? Because Yoda only one for me.
Nice.
I think we
I like-
passed 10.
I like, hey girl, can I follow you home? Because my parents always told me to follow my dreams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hey, Michelle, do you have a twin sister? I can tell you're the most beautiful girl in the world.
Wow.
Because if you were a twin, you would be too. I think.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to know that.
I still think you're
Yeah,
cute.
you guys probably get this joke. Why I say this?
Mm-hmm.
Can I buy you a drink? Or do you just want the money?
Really? Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Chuck.
When God made you, he was just showing off.
Oh, thank you, Chucky. Here's one for you. Did you fart? Because you're blowing me away.
You're so hot, you would make the devil sweat.
Oh, I didn't know that angels could fly so low, Chuck.
I bet you $20 Michelle's going to turn me down.
Oh, you're so fine. I wish I could plant you and grow you a whole field of you.
Wouldn't we look cute on a wedding cake together?
Actually, that would be pretty nice.
You guys are
Hey,
so
I mean,
beautiful.
okay.
You made me forget my pickup line.
Are you going to kiss me, Chuck, or do I got to lie to my diary?
Anybody?
I think I,
You guys was on a roll, you know.
no wonder the sky is gray today because all the blues in your eyes.
Ooh.
I'm not drunk. I'm just intoxicated by you.
Yeah. How about this one? Ooh, you're not a vegetarian, are you? Because I'd love to meet you.
Vegetarian because you like to meet you. I like that. That's pretty slick.
How about, damn, if being sexy was a crime, you'd be guilty as charged.
Hey, I'm in the mood. Hey, Michelle, I'm in the mood for pizza. A piece of you, that is.
Here's one for all those down in downtown Clarksburg. Do you smoke pot? Because we'd be cute together.
Okay,
I
that
think
was
we're
that.
still laughing. It's Todd.
Oh, I can't. The vegetarian thing got
That's
me.
pretty good right there.
Woo!
It is
We
what
could go
it
all
is.
night with these.
Oh, yeah.
I
absolutely.
think that was the best one.
That was pretty funny stuff. That's pretty funny stuff.
It was the only one that made me spit my beer everywhere.
Listen, I have this cough. Once again, D-Mac has it. That's why he's absent
I
tonight.
do.
Anybody have this stuff going around? It's the whole drainage
I get
side
that
of the
drainage
kind of
stuff,
stuff.
too.
This is week 4 for us.
Really?
Oh,
Can't get rid of it. Can't shake it.
If that cheese didn't help out with the sinuses.
That cheese is very good, too, by the way.
Yeah, it is very
Hey,
Hey,
I have
listen
a
up.
surprise for Chuck.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys recall.
Chuck loves surprises.
Yeah, I do.
The last time we were on, we were talking about Chuck's
Bladder
bedwetting
problem?
difficulties.
No, I
how
dropped
he-
tea, you mean.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
How he
that
dropped
was
tea
it.
in the
Dropped tea
bed.
in
Right.
the bed.
And
I
how
spilled tea
this
everywhere.
has become an issue between him and Michelle. So
Yes.
because of this,
Yeah.
I bought him this gift. So please pass
Oh,
this
no,
down. for
Cindy
him.
brought me a gift.
Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
Now, see, we have a poll saying that I either peed the bed or I dropped the tea.
Right.
which I dropped the tea. So
You dropped the
Cindy,
tea.
Cindy got me this
Yep.
Yes, sir.
in
Regardless.
anticipation that we're going to have problems because of
Yeah,
incontinence.
yeah. So you don't drop tea anymore.
I'm
So
not-
you don't drop the tea anymore.
Okay.
This is especially for you at Betty by Time.
Betty by time. What is that?
Oh, it's a little sippy cup.
It's a little sippy cup. So that
That's
way, if
what
so now what's going to
Chuck
happen
needs.
now? I can't blame
That's
dropping the
right.
tea anymore.
There will be no question about the
Right.
situation, Chuck.
Well, Cindy, I appreciate that.
So now, if you wake
So
up, in
now-
Very thoughtful.
Now I'm going to
Our
have to.
dear friends.
I'm going to have to figure out now an excuse. Jimmy was in the house and dropped tea in the bed.
Sorry, Michelle.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm going to use this. Next week, I'll have beer in there. I'll suck on that thing like a nipple.
Sorry, Michelle.
Yeah. Sorry, Michelle.
You know what? I just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
The flow of the sippy cup.
Flow of the sippy
That's
cup.
fine. Once again, we're talking about things coming up. We're going to have we're going to be going up to Rich's Freight Farm. Plus, we're going to have some ghost hunts around the area, and
As we should.
Yeah, so
so we're trying to figure out dates now and everything else like that. We're just trying to figure it out. If we come up with something that you guys we think you guys might be interested in, we'll let you know for that. And we're also the big news is also. Next week we are off on Sunday, and then we will be back, and we'll go back to the wintertime hours, which means it'll be every week. Which means the next week Todd will be gone because you're going on a cruise, and the week after that Michelle and I will be gone, and then the week after that Michelle and I will be
We'll
gone.
be gone. From
And
the
then
7th to the 14th.
So you,
When?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, apparently.
Yeah.
but now listen,
Guys never do.
when you guys went on the honor flight, and then and how did that go? Because that was last weekend, and we taught that thing up, and it
Hey,
worked out really well.
Let me tell you something. That was a wonderful time. Absolutely wonderful time. I didn't even know they had the honor flight out of Clarksburg. I'm
Yeah.
ashamed of that fact, you know. But let me tell you something. Darren and I both went. And
Yeah, Cindy went too.
oh yeah, yeah, Cindy was there too. I'm sorry. Anyway, those of us that was Guardians, we was able to get these shirts and everything. Of course, on the back it says Guardian. Ours was green. The veterans
Show it up
were.
there.
The veterans had blue shirts. Of course, they said veteran on there.
Behind
And,
you, Jim.
some of us.
Okay.
Ooh, don't spill that soda right there.
Back up. Yep.
Oh, if you're going on that camera.
There you go.
Yeah, that looks really nice. That looks really
Yeah, I was
nice.
going to use the camera above Jimmy's head, but
But
Jimmy changed it.
whoops.
some of us only had to be with one veteran. Some of us had two. Cindy, you had two, didn't you?
Yes, I
Yeah,
had
I
two
had
guys
two.
with me. Darren had two guys.
That's right. That's right. And I think that really determined on whether or not they were.
Their ability
Mobile,
to
yeah.
Their mobile abilities.
Yeah, I had a gentleman that was. He wasn't confined to a wheelchair, but he needed a wheelchair in order to
For all the
enjoy
walking
day.
that was
Sure.
done.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it was. It was
a
pretty
A lot
busy
of
that
miles,
day.
I imagine, that day.
So I mean, everything. I mean, what was the experience like for you? This was your first time. Darren, was this the first time you did this?
It's the first time I went.
Yeah.
That's the first time. Cindy,
Yeah,
you too?
Cindy
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So how
I can tell you one of the things that one of my gentlemen said to me that I found so very sad was that first of all, when we landed in D.C. and he saw the bands and the cheerleaders, and as we were pulling up onto the gate, there was all the ground crew were standing outside waving flags. And both of the guys that were with me were Vietnam veterans, and they were both just very teary-eyed. And the one guy's like, "Why are they doing this?" And I said, "Well, this is for you. This is to welcome you to Washington, D.C." He's like, "These people don't even know us." And I'm like, "But they're still here to welcome you, you know?" And he was just totally overwhelmed by that. And he said, "You know, when I came home from Vietnam, they basically just put me on a bus and sent me home. There was no nothing.
No
I came
fanfare
home
for a lot of these
I
Vietnam
came home by
veterans.
myself. You know, you hope you could get a job. It's like they drop you out of the sky. Here you go. You're back in your normal life and expected to live like a normal person again after being away in a foreign country for I forget how long
year.
he said he had been there. So it was very touching, and to see them when we got back, and to see the local crowd that was at the airport.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive, and they were just so awestruck by it and so touched by it. And the other thing they did was, as we got back on the buses to head to the airport, they did a thing called mail call. So basically, what it was all these guys got envelopes full of like different schools wrote letters, kids drew pictures, their family put letters in them, because most of these guys never got mail the whole time they were deployed. So they got mail call now.
Yeah, because World War II, they didn't get mail call.
Right.
You know, if it was very sparse, and
Well,
took so long to get there.
Yeah, and you were such on the move, and you had such a big
They're just trying to keep up with some of these
let me tell you, from the time that we landed in D.C., actually before then, because I had sent you a few pictures and everything, they had a heck of a breakfast spread there in the plane hangar for all these gentlemen and everything, and then we get up onto the plane, and when, like she said, whenever we first got to D.C., the ground crew had flags. They did the water cannon salute over the plane. You walk out, and let me tell you something. There was a set of high school kids down there, and I really wish I had the time to be able to find out what high school that was. The cheerleaders and football players was out there, and let me tell you something. They were greeting these people. Thank you for your service.
Marshall High. Listen, we're going to plug it right now. It was Marshall High School out of Falls Church, Virginia.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. These young men and women, they weren't there because they was told they had to be there.
Yep.
These young women, you could see it in their face. They was genuinely supportive
the football players
and wanted
had the
to be
jerseys
there.
on.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
And they had us. We could get straight through to anything we wanted to. It was like even at the airport, they had lanes set up just so these veterans can get through, and it still took 10 minutes to get through the airport. With everybody wanting to shake hands.
That's awesome, man.
And stuff
So
like
it was
that.
like they were rock stars.
Oh,
yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, from the time they got to the hangar that morning until they walked out of the hangar that evening.
That is fantastic.
I mean, it was just.
That's a
it was
wonderful
it was
program.
amazing. And
Wonderful.
Hey,
how many
one of
years
the
have they
things-
how many years have they had this out of Clarksburg now? Do you know?
I think
Only
this
a
is their
few, right?
6th or 7th year.
So it's been
Right,
going on
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Because Antoinette said something about doing it one time too, and I'd never heard it. DMAC was up on a return trip one time, and I wasn't too aware
Listen,
of it until this.
No kidding. All joking set aside, if you ever get a chance to go as a guardian, a civilian to be a guardian, it costs $250. Okay, but if you're a veteran and you want to be a guardian like I did, that's free.
Right.
So if you ever get a chance, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing going to touch your heart as much as walking these veterans around D.C.
I'm sure it's pretty wild.
Some of these, we had one guy broke down into tears when we landed to find out what was wrong with him. He said, "This is the first time I've been back to D.C. since '68."
Wow. And at 68, it wasn't a very happy time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of things, and just to give you one of my experiences, just one, it was really challenging being a veteran and being a guardian for these guys, because after we exchanged stories, the two I had were from Vietnam era. They were in country, and they asked me about my service and everything. So we, after we talked, they were like, "Well, this should be for you too. They're totally ignoring you." I said, "No. Today's about you.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't about me. I said today's about you." So, and then another one was when we got to the Vietnam Wall. A guy had mentioned that he wanted to look up a couple buddies on the wall. And excuse me a second.
It's touching.
But-
when you get,
but
he's just like,
this guy,
yeah.
I've heard about it.
Absolutely.
And you see it on YouTube or whatever.
It's different
But
being there.
to be there and see this man, break down.
Oh yeah.
When you because you're looking through it, and it's like a kid at Christmas.
Right.
And then when you see that name, it's everything. All the emotion comes back, flooding back.
Well,
and it's hard for him to handle.
See, that would be the weird thing, because
So-
say if something happened to just put it in perspective. To anybody else, they're just names. But to that guy, that name, it's not. It's something completely different. You'd almost have to be looking at that. Looking at that name, and at that point, you don't see anything else but that name, which takes your mind back to you know all this stuff, and you're just looking. That's like
when,
closure almost for
all
all
the
those guys.
names that surround it fade away.
When I was standing there, and that guy found that name, and this guy didn't know me, from Adam, from the time we got on the plane when we talked and everything. But he stood there and told me his story about that guy, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but he said that he had come back to camp and was looking for a buddy, and he walked up to the sandbag bunkers, and there was two guys standing, sitting on there, and he said, "Well, do you know where such and such is?" And the guy was pretty much a dick to him. He said, "Look, it's not my time to watch him. Go find him." So he walked away, and no more than he got just down over the knoll right there. They had incoming and killed that guy. He was just talking
No
to
kidding.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, he said if it would have been somebody that was nice, I'd have been standing there talking to him when he hit. And the emotion when he was scratching his name and everything. I got it on picture, but the picture didn't capture none of it.
And let me tell you something. When you see these guys go up and find their buddies' names on the wall and this, that, and the other, you see their face reflected in that wall. Oh, let me tell you something. It's something. It's something to behold. I'm telling you right now. I mean, because you're seeing their emotion through a reflection.
See, that's what there's a mural or a painting that somebody did of when you see the wall and they're touching the wall, but it's an old man looking at it, but the reflection is when he was in service, and it's very good. It's very good, and you can almost see that. You know what I mean?
We watched a lot of the footage on the news, and it looked like there were a lot of Vietnam veterans that era because they're in their 70s now. My dad was. Now,
we had
my
one
question
World
is,
War II.
that was going to be my question. Did you have any World War II vets?
We had one.
They are.
And let me tell you something. He got to do something very special, didn't he, Darren?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
The first time ever Clarksburg Honor Flight was allowed to present a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Really?
No kidding.
Yep.
Yeah.
This World War II veteran was pushed in his wheelchair up to present this. They had the changing the guard at 1 o'clock. And then, 2 minutes following that, they had a little instruction for that. The people that was dealing with him and
I got it on video
and stuff like
Awesome.
that. Let me tell you something, absolutely beautiful.
So here's the question: You guys going to do it next year? And every year that you can?
Oh yeah.
We need to thank our listeners again too that donated.
Oh,
You know what?
most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
make
and
that
speaking of
Stats
that,
for you real quick about how much each flight costs.
Each flight is $80,000, and to get the veterans and the guardians there. Plus, there's an assistant crew. Basically, they had kind of red shirts on. They were the medical crew. They were like group leaders because we were broken up into 3 different groups. But yeah, $80,000 to make that trip.
Yeah, and you can see. It's. Well, there's a whole other year, and a year to start planning for it now, and you can see how what happens because if you're not around it, you might not really necessarily get it. But since you guys are there, now it's going to be like one of these causes. Now you can see the importance of it.
Every what they're doing is they're going by theaters first,
Right.
and then the ones that are terminal. So if you're say a Vietnam veteran and you're terminal and they're still in World War II, they'll take the terminal.
Sure.
Right.
But the way it's going is we actually had some Korea veterans too. You have World War II, and right now we had like that one that was World War II. They're mainly on Korea and Vietnam now, and then after that it'll go by theaters.
Yeah,
By
including conflicts and everything else.
Yeah,
right. Any kind of
conflict.
engagement anywhere. Right, because that's
World War II, Korea, Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got all your other veterans that was combat.
I think
related.
people would be amazed
Grenada, Panama.
if you would actually sit down and look by year of all the different conflicts the United States has been. I think you would really be amazed how we're always at war with somebody.
Yeah,
we're always somewhere. It's amazing.
The longest stretch of peace we've had in the modern era was through the 80s.
Well, if you don't really
up until Douglas
well,
Warren.
as long as you don't consider the Cold War era.
Exactly.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
well, as far as you had
because you're
Lebanon
talking-
in there.
We had little things like but
Libya.
No, not to say that they're little and insignificant, but as far as body count, you have Grenada and Panama, Falkland Islands, stuff like that. But as far as major
like a major
conflicts,
campaign.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I could tell you, but it's amazing how it just But anyway, I'm glad to hear everything went smooth. We'll definitely keep up with that. And Chad made some good contacts. So we'll have to bring them into the studio because, like I said, we're going to be going through every week process here pretty soon. So we'll have plenty of time to actually just start doing show prep again instead of just coming in here with our ding dongs hanging out. And
well, as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why we need to not have a show next week because I need to get a hold of that one young lady to see about going out there. And
we need to think about when we're going to go to doing our ghost hunts.
Ghost hunts,
Fright Farm, and all that stuff.
If we determine if we want anybody to come with us, all that jazz.
We'll see. We'll see how that rolls.
Yeah.
We'll see how that rolls. We'll talk about it next.
Because people are dying to hang out with you. You know how that is.
Well, you know, it's
Hey,
the
we
pickup
were
lines.
we were at Walmart today. It made me smile a little bit. We had to go to do our Walmart stuff today, like you always do on payday. And we was walking to get into Walmart, and there was a blue SUV there and had a RoganRadio sticker in the back.
Really?
Yeah, they're everywhere,
You
man.
gotta start giving them away again.
I was riding
I was
riding the bike home down Meadowbrook Road the other day. And I got a text when I got home from my niece, and she said, "Was that you on that motorcycle?" I said, "Yeah," because she saw my RoganRadio sticker on the back of the
You know,
helmet.
you'd probably see the stickers a little
You know
more
what I
if we
did?
actually got them out into the community more.
Oh.
I didn't know, and I put mine on the inside of the window, and my window's tinted.
Oh.
So I have one, but you can't see it.
Really? You need to get her like we need
You'd
to
have
get
to
like we need to get like the trailer hitches that go in the trailer hitch, you know,
That
with
light
the big
up.
bar. Yeah, when you hit
the
the brakes,
green.
it lights up. RR. That's what we need. You need to start
Yeah.
spending a lot more money
I
on this.
know exactly. On
Well-
me, please.
Well, we were talking about doing the bikini, but out of the season, this has been the fastest summer that I can remember. I mean, it just seems.
This was
That's
the
because you're a
fastest summer
janitor
ever.
and you're inside, bro. It's
This
a
is- no,
long,
it was the
hot
fastest.
I
ass
am
summer.
in maintenance, and I am
yeah,
first
can't
line of
do-
defense
since he's a
under the
janitor.
the Constitution of the United States. I am hereby hired by the Department of Homeland Security under the guise of the Department of the Postal Service, which in 1970 turned into the Postal Service, not the Post Office anymore. And I have been given the responsibility for what? How many people? 150 people, something like that.
Yeah.
For the responsibility of 150 people in that building to be the first person, along with Chad, to attack to take care of things during a biological attack. Now that could be anthrax,
Yeah.
that could be the cold virus. It doesn't matter. We take care of it all. It could be anything. So the next
Now,
time
where
you,
I draw the line is the sand crabs.
the sand crabs. So the next time you start whipping around herms without respect, you better watch out because next time you might be waking up with some kind
Still
of
have to clean
some kind of
Snickers off
sores,
toilets, right?
Yes, he does.
some kind of sores off your ass.
I don't get sores on my
Snickers
ass,
mixed
Chuck.
with
Well,
a
yeah,
little bit
because
of
I
garbage.
think-
I take a little piece of toilet paper and I put it on each side.
Cindy, you're a
of the
nurse.
sheet.
You're a nurse, right? I mean, you're a nurse. What is the density of a piece of toilet paper? Not very much.
Not very much.
So if there was some kind of a virus or a bacteria that's say on a toilet seat, and it makes you feel better, that put some toilet paper down like Todd does when he sits down to pee, and he
do
puts
that.
he puts the toilet
I
paper
do
down
not
on the
know when I
seat,
pee.
I do
Thinking-
it all the time.
thinking somehow whatever's on that seat from the person above him is somehow going to stay on that seat and be soaked in through the fabric of Bounty or whoever makes toilet paper. And guess what? It's going to go right through there, right
Then
up.
why
his
do
butt.
they have
Right.
those AIDS gasket things? You know, those things
Yeah.
you pull out.
You're
and
talking
put
about
in toilet?
you're talking about the toilet condoms.
Why don't we have toilet
whatever they
condoms,
are, I
Chuck?
don't know.
Toilet condoms. They're not.
Yeah.
We do.
We do?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, and
but
aerosols.
it's not. That's more of a plastic. It's
Okay.
I
That's
hate
more
to
of
break
something.
the news
that's-
to
Hey,
all
listen.
of you, but basically, it's useless. As a nurse, I never put anything on the toilet.
Really?
Ever.
You're so dirty.
Because you women are so
well,
clean.
no, because
No need to
because-
swat above the seat.
No,
90%
because there's
of them
not,
hover.
there's not much that will live on plastic.
Okay,
I mean, your
well,
chances of
then you know
actually
what?
catching a disease from a toilet
You've
seat.
never been to
Then
the post
maybe I
office.
Well,
put
okay.
that toilet paper down to keep like any kind of like a butt crumb or something.
Exactly.
From sticking.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want a butt crumb or a
Okay.
hair.
If it makes you feel better, I mean, also
Does
do
make
it.
me feel better.
or you know,
mean like
poo,
some, like-
poo juice.
Poo juice. Yeah.
Some crusty little granola looking
If I'm
piece.
not mistaken, the bathroom is cleaner than our own cell phone.
And
You know, one thing that always
Watch
amazed
this, watch
me.
this, watch this.
One thing. That,
If you ever see, listen. So Todd, if you ever see hairs,
hold on for a second. I need
Crunchy, isn't
I
it?
got
Todd, if you ever see hairs on the toilet, do you blow them off before you sit down?
I wasn't really looking that, by the way.
Have you ever?
I would never do that.
Now listen, this is going
liar.
to be disgusting, and we're going to end it with this. Have you ever walked into a bathroom because you had to go, and the person that was went in before you was having a bad day to the point to where I call it a shotgun shit.
Oh yeah.
It looks like, and I'm not sure what happened there, but it's everywhere. And I'm like,
They literally tried to blow the bottom out of the bowl.
I'm thinking, how does that how does it get everywhere? It's like it's like somebody
On
had a
the
bucket. And
wall,
just,
You know
on the
what?
stall, I mean, it's everywhere.
I've experienced that when I used to work at the restaurants.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then they would say, "Hey, Bruce, is there any way you can help us out?" I said, "What is it?" Just come and take a look. I said, "Whoa."
Yeah, it's like
By that time, you need a fire hose.
Yeah. But I've often wondered, like, who are these people? Who are these people that do that?
Well, when you see the toilet seat and
Yep.
it's got all kind of hair on it, I'm like, who does not?
What are they doing in there? Are they shedding? Are they shedding, Jimmy? When they pull their pants
somebody has to purposely take that off and put it on there. Like, who just sits? Jimmy, who just sits up? And hair falls out everywhere.
I don't know.
Don't make them sick.
I don't know.
make the baby sick.
Maybe when they squat down, everything just.
Let me tell you the worst part about our job.
Leave, Jack, leave.
Is when it seems like there's 10 people in a line that take a shit and nobody flushes the toilet. And you got toilet paper and shit. Toilet paper and shit.
And then you know that ain't going
This stuff
down.
has been clogged up for a month.
Leave.
But I mean, so who stands up and just has
Then all of a
hair
sudden-
fall out everywhere?
When you walk in,
I don't know, Jimmy.
and when you walk in, you've
Okay,
got to
that's
pour
enough,
the
that's
water
enough,
down
I'm
the
done,
bowl,
I'm done.
and it just starts mixing, and that
I'm gonna
smell.
puke. I am really gonna puke.
You better hit the music,
It's
Chuck.
like a grinder.
Okay.
And we're out.
better
And
Everybody,
thanks
thanks
for
for
listening to Rogan Radio.
I have acid reflux now. My brother.
People need
And
to
by the way,
manscape more.
I got you guys a little something too. You understand? Got you a little bit of something.
I think people need to manscape.
Oh, and you know what? I don't know if you've ever done this or not. I don't know if you've ever had like ghost pepper, scorpion cheese, and this other kind of junk, and then have like a little bit of acid reflux with your friends talking about dumb shit that they just do on purpose. And I knew I should have known. Jimmy's like all nonchalant. He's like a sniper. He's like the shark in the water. He's like, I'm just waiting for my chance. Waiting for my chance. Bang!
Oh, yeah, butthole hair.
Blood in the water.
Butthole hair.
Butthole hair.
Let's talk about how that falls
All
out.
right.
Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Dingleberries hanging off the seat.
Those little scraggly hairs
Okay,
like
so
this.
ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to Rogan Radio tonight. On behalf of Chad Puccio, Michelle, Derek McIntyre, Cindy down there, Darren Hardman, Brucey, Jimmy Wiz, and Todd Beck. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man.
You're listening to Rogan Radio.
You've been listening to Rogan Radio. Get out of here.